These 7 admirals are the world government's greatest military power, considered to be some of the strongest fighters in the entire series. And today, we will explain and rank all of them, starting with Aokiji, the blue pheasant.
Aokiji, the
Kuzan is the
freezer.
first admiral we were introduced
They're
to.
such gigachats. They're so big, right? They're like 3 meters
The
tall.
anime after the Straw Hat crew
Or
encountered
something
him
like
during
that.
the Long Ring Long Land arc. There, he easily outclassed the whole crew and made Luffy realize just how powerful the admirals really are. Although Kuzan tries
like
to
his
follow the
powers.
world government orders, he occasionally disregards them, which was best shown in Ohara when he lets young Robin escape. He was also shocked by Sakazuki's decision to blow up a ship full of civilians, which he thought was completely unnecessary. Kuzan ate the Hie Hie no Mi, a Logia-type devil fruit that allows him to create, control, and transform his body into ice. Since ice is a solid element,
I really like that power. I don't know. Everything with ice
can be hit easily,
control.
even
I
with
love
the
it.
attacks not infused with hockey. However, these attacks cannot harm him in any way. Instead, his body would just shatter apart when struck, only to
like
effortlessly reform seconds later. Kuzan is also able to form constructs out of ice. For example, in combat, he can create weaponry, primarily forming swords and spears, but he can also make more advanced things, like a giant pheasant to send flying at enemies. An interesting thing about Kuzan is that he's one of the few devil fruit users who can bypass the weakness of falling into the sea. He can achieve this by freezing the sea before he can sink below the surface.
Wait,
Not
that
only
makes
does this
sense.
keep him from drowning, but it also lets him prevent enemies from escaping by sea by freezing their ships in.
Yo, that's crazy though. Imagine if you could make one weapon, what would it be? Can you make guns out of ice? That would be crazy.
Place, or rendering the sea a solid battleground for entire armies to fight on. During the Summit War, Kuzan's power was well exemplified, with him engaging Whitebeard, the strongest man in the world, head-to-head
The
and
most
holding his
Giga
own.
Chad of
He
them
also
all.
battled Jozu, one of the Whitebeard's most formidable men, and defeated him with relative ease, completely incapacitating him for the rest of the war. Ultimately, Kuzan emerged from the war almost entirely unscathed, with nothing but a small bruise, which, when you think about the scale of this war, it's pretty impressive. After the Marineford War, he was nominated for the position of Fleet Admiral, but lost it in combat against Akainu. After Akainu was appointed, Aokiji resigned from his position, refusing to serve under Akainu due to his cruelty. Following his departure from the Marines, he became part of the Blackbeard Pirates.
I feel like his ability is really useful because most of the world, right, is water, and if he can freeze that, he can manipulate the water or the ice as he wants. So that's like an environmental control
After
ability.
Akainu was appointed, Aokiji resigned from his position, refusing to serve under Akainu due to his cruelty. Following his departure from the Marines, he became part of the Blackbeard Pirates, one of the most feared crews in the world. Based on all of this, Aokiji should easily be in the A tier. Ryokukyu, the Green
he
Bull.
joined Blackbeard,
Ryokukyu attained his admiral status off-screen during the 2-year time skip, filling one of the 2 free admiral spots left by Aokiji and Akainu. During the latest level, Ryokukyu and Fujito engaged in battle with the Flame Emperor Sabo and a few Revolutionary Army commanders. He also effortlessly defeated King and Queen, 2 all-stars of the Beast Pirates, with bounties of over 1 billion bellies. Ryokukyu ate the Morimori no Mi, a Logia-type devil fruit that allows him to create, control, and transform his body into plants. Notably, as plants are a solid element, he cannot turn intangible. However, non-hockey attacks are still harmless to him, and he'll easily heal from any damage. The way he regenerates is also pretty interesting, as he regenerates...
Isn't his like ability kind of destroyed by fire abilities, right?
By sprouting out of the ground and growing back into his normal self. When attacking the Beast Pirates, he turned his fingers into sharpened tree branches and freely grew them to impale dozens of enemies over a large area with ease. Additionally, his plants can rapidly absorb any liquid they touch, which includes dehydrating living creatures after impaling them, leaving them as shriveled husks. Furthermore, he appears to be able
to... Okay, I didn't know that. He can literally suck out people from their water, just like make them into like shriveled up, like dried
taste the liquid he absorbs, as shown when he impaled a barrel of alcohol with a branch and remarked on its flavor. He can also perform really unusual feats with the plants that he generates, such as growing a giant flower on his back and using it to fly. It has also been shown that ordinary grass and flowers grow on any surface he touches, resulting in him leaving behind a trail of plants wherever he walks. This was shown when Udon, which is known to be a barren and desolate area, was shown with greenery for the first time in many years. It's unknown if this is passively active or something he does on purpose, but it's cool nonetheless. Although Ryokukyu is obviously a very strong fighter.
Again, like an environmental ability, right? The previous one was ice, this one's like creating plants and trees and stuff like that.
I don't really think he's on the same level
It's
as
not
Aokiji,
that strong,
so I'll
though.
have to put him in B tier.
Because he could easily freeze, you know?
Kizaru, the yellow monkey. Kizaru is the only remaining admiral from the previous trio, with Aokiji leaving and Akainu being promoted. As with other admirals, Kizaru's mere presence is enough to cause mass panic and scare many weaker pirates. This was perfectly showcased on the Salbadi archipelago, where most of the supernovas fled upon seeing him. While on the island, Kizaru was able to overwhelm 4 of said.
He's got that kind of vibe about him, you know? Like, doesn't really care. He's got the glasses on. He's got like the gold outfit and everything.
Supernovas, Hawkins, Uroge, X-Drake, and Appo, with no effort, defeating each of them in a single attack. Kizaru also engaged in a one-on-one battle against Silver's Rayleigh, the former right hand.
He a little bit reminds me of like a mafia boss or something like that, you know, with that outfit.
Kizaru also engaged in a one-on-one battle against Silver's Rayleigh, the former right hand of the Pirate King, and one of the strongest swordsmen in the world. During their short battle, while Rayleigh looked very tired, Kizaru seemed calm, implying that if their fight continued, he would easily be able to defeat him. During the Summit War, he once again showcased his strength by battling several of Whitebeard's division commanders on equal footing, and later Whitebeard himself, whom he was able to seriously injure. Without a doubt, his greatest strength lies in his Devil Fruit, the Pika Pika no Mi, which allows him to turn his body into light. With it, he can move at light speed, allowing him to maneuver around the battlefield without his enemies being able to keep up unless they have sufficiently developed observation hockey. Kizaru also uses his light speed to repeatedly smash the subscribe button. Alright, that's just, it's a stupid joke. But you should seriously
Can he
press it
turn
if you
into
like the
lightning
content.
though?
Thanks. Anyway, he can also kind of teleport himself using the Devil Fruit.
Can you like, you know, I guess he can teleport
transforming
himself.
his body into light and appearing in another location.
That
His
makes
physical
sense.
attacks can be strengthened as well. By moving his leg at the speed of light, the Admiral's kicks can be given massive weight and momentum, greatly
Wait, if he travels at the speed of light, can't he like just go around the world all the time? Right?
increasing their power and allowing Kizaru to deal tremendous damage to opponents with individual blows. Now, Kizaru is a very tricky admiral to rank, as he's always very confident and thinks he can easily defeat anyone. For now, I'll have to put him in the A tier, but he definitely has the potential to be an S tier in the future if he proves himself. Black Arm Zephyr. Zephyr, also known as Z, was a former Marine Admiral and the Commander-in-Chief of the Neo Marines. He served as the main antagonist of One Piece film Z, where he and his forces clashed with the Straw Hat Pirates as they were caught in the midst of his grand plan to destroy the New World. After he resigned from the Marines, he was requested to stay in the military as an instructor, and he trained many powerful cadets.
That's a cool like arm, almost like a mechanic.
He was requested to stay in the military as an instructor,
that a gun?
And he trained many.
No, it's like a little claw arm in the machines.
Many powerful cadets who would become the high-ranking officers of their generation, including Kizaru, Aokiji, and Akainu. Even after he completely abandoned the world government, many of his former students showed genuine remorse at having to fight their instructor, indicating that he was an excellent and charismatic teacher. Alongside Garp, Sengoku, and Suru, Z was one of the most powerful Marines of his generation. Another interesting thing about him is that he's the only no-Marine admiral that doesn't possess the Devil Fruit powers. Despite his old age, Zephyr had tremendous physical prowess. He was easily able to counter Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji, despite fighting them inside of a small cabin, with none of the 3 strongest Straw Hats able to land a direct hit. Since he didn't eat a Devil Fruit, he mostly relied on his hand.
I feel like his defense abilities are pretty strong, you know, if he can dodge all these attacks.
None of the 3 strongest Straw Hats able to land a direct hit. Since he didn't eat a Devil Fruit, he mostly relied on his hand-to-hand combat skills, using his physical strength and haki to fight. He could clash evenly against Luffy while in his Gear 2 form, and keep up with Kizaru for some time. He was aware of his age though, and after his final battle against Luffy, he admitted that he had grown old and weak. Since Zephyr is considered non-canon, and there isn't much information about his feats as an admiral, I'll unfortunately have to put him in C tier. Fujitora, the Wisteria Tiger. Same as Green Bull, Fujitora attained his rank off-screen during the time skip. His justice motto as a Marine is humane justice, and his primary goal is to protect as many people as possible. He tries to never put innocent civilians in harm's way during conflicts and avoids causing collateral damage with his attacks. Overall, he's a pretty good guy. He's also really strong as well, as he was able to fight Sabo to more or less of a standstill, emerging from a battle without a scratch. It was also evident that he didn't go all out in this battle and merely stalled for time, which means that his actual power is way higher. Another one of Fujitora's feats is defeating Jax, Kaido's top commander, in a
What's his true power then? And he defeated Jax. This guy looks insane, like a mammoth.
Battle. Despite being blind, due to his other acute senses and observation haki, Fujitora can handle himself perfectly well in combat, even against very powerful enemies. Notably, he has excellent hearing, having heard Nami's lightning from kilometers away when neither Doflamingo nor Law next to him did. He also stated that he's able to sense the movement of clouds, which doesn't seem very useful, but it's cool, I
Can predict the weather.
Fujito ate the Zushi no Mi.
He's like, what can you do? Predict the weather and here. That's. Nah, I'm sure you could other abilities.
Cool, I guess. Fujito ate the Zushi no Mi, a Petamecia-type devil fruit that allows him to manipulate gravitational forces. Fujito can drastically increase the gravity around others, keeping them on the ground and making it difficult for them to move. He can also further increase the gravity and press down opponents
That
under
seems
immense
so
pressure,
overpowered,
even
though.
going as far as to create large craters deep into the ground.
Wait, he can create a black hole then, right?
Moreover, the Admiral can also use these powers defensively by making fields of reverse gravity to repel attacks. He can also use gravity to pull objects directly towards himself, which
This seems so strong. Like, I'm sure he has something to do like later on in the anime. That for sure. That's such a strong ability.
Defensively by making fields of reverse gravity to repel attacks.
You can do everything with gravity if you think about it.
Directly towards himself, which Fujito has used multiple times to summon meteorites to strike his opponents.
Yeah.
Despite his incredibly powerful devil fruit abilities, Isho is also a master swordsman, which he showed when he easily deflected Zoro's attack and sent him underground. Although we
Zoro?
saw Fujito fight several times, it was never against
Bro, Zoro's
seriously strong
insane
opponents.
at swords.
Therefore, for now, I'll have to put him in the B tier with Green Bull.
How does he
Akainu.
go into the B tier? What? The dude can manipulate gravity. You put him in B?
For
Nah.
now, I'll have to put him in the B tier with Green Bull.
Nah. Maybe it's because like he wasn't shown that much in the anime, but I don't know.
Dog. Akainu is the current fleet admiral of the Rings,
Oh, this
and
guy's
is
gonna
believed
be
by
S
fans to be the
for sure.
strongest current admiral in the story. Sakazuki has command over the entire marine organization, from ordering all soldiers and officers as he sees fit to issuing a buster call on any island he deems to be a threat.
Rip.
His only superiors are the world government's commander-in-chief Kong and the Five Elders. Akainu is an adamant believer in absolute justice, and he believes that all evil should be eradicated, even if it requires sacrificing innocent lives in the process. He is incredibly
He's
rigid and
pretty
absolute in
bad,
his
right?
beliefs,
He's like, he doesn't really care about anyone else.
showing little compassion for anyone or anything, and is ruthlessly willing to do whatever it takes to serve his own goals, no matter the cost. Because of this, Akainu is by far the most ruthless out of the three time skip admirals. During the Buster Call,
He definitely seems very evil. The first guy, the ice guy, he even left, right? Because of this guy. He didn't want to like be a bad guy.
Sakazuki's beliefs led him to go as far as destroying a refugee ship full of innocent people and marines simply because of the slight possibility that a scholar could be hiding on board.
Damn.
Sakazuki's logic was that if even one of the scholars of Ohara had escaped, the entire mission would have been a failure. During the Summit War, Sakazuki's fighting prowess was well established against Whitebeard, whom the Admiral matched up to in a head-to-head confrontation. While Whitebeard managed to gain the upper hand and deliver a serious blow to Akainu, the Admiral managed to melt off half of Whitebeard's face in the exchange. Further during the war, Sakazuki proved himself firmly superior to Ace, effortlessly overpowering him in a clash.
Isn't Whitebeard like 6 meters tall or something like that? He's twice the size of the Admirals.
And killing him afterwards. Ultimately, Sakazuki proved to be unstoppable, and not even the combined efforts of Jinbei, Marco, and Vista could do anything more than slow him down. It was only when Shanks arrived and personally engaged Akainu that he finally stopped fighting.
Shanks
we
come
didn't
in.
see much of Akainu post-time skip,
Shanks
but it is
joins
believed
the
that
chat.
he got even more powerful and will probably be one of the final obstacles on Luffy's journey. After he managed to defeat Aokiji and deal some serious damage to Whitebeard, I believe that Akainu is the first admiral that deserves to be placed in the S tier. Sengoku, the Buddha. Sengoku was the fleet admiral of the Marines during the first half of the series. He was one of the major figures in the world along with Whitebeard, Shiki, and Garp during the times when Goldie Roger was still alive. Sometime during the time skip, he became a general inspector, and his position was taken by Akainu. Although not much is known about Sengoku's past, we know that he joined the Marines at the age of 23, and eventually rose up through the ranks, achieving admiral status. He was also powerful enough to stop and capture the legendary pirate Golden Lion Shiki in a battle that destroyed half the Marine fort. During the Summit War, he mainly stayed on the sidelines and was responsible for commanding the Marine forces. He ultimately did a pretty good job.
Are they all admirals are bad? They're not, right? Not all admirals are bad, I think. Maybe?
And with Akainu's help, he managed to turn one of
Like,
Whitebeard's
in the
allies against him. Sengoku ate the Hito no Mi, model Daibutsu, a mythical Zoan-type devil fruit that allows him to transform into a large golden Buddha, boosting his powers and overall strength massively. This form
That's definitely gonna be the coolest one out of all of them, right? you know, they got the strong ones where you can control gravity and like you got lava and ice or whatever. But it's like, nah, I'm a golden Buddha, dude, with an afro. That's so cool.
Also allows him to launch golden shockwaves by striking his hands forward, and was
Yeah.
strong enough to injure even the Blackbeard pirates. When Sengoku first used his fruit's powers in an attempt to execute both Luffy and Ace, nearby Marines
Oh.
noted that they had never seen him use it before, suggesting that he rarely transforms. Okay,
Damn.
so where should Sengoku be in the rankings? Well, we need to take into account
kinda
that
useless, though.
very old, and before Marineford, he probably
Is he
couldn't
gonna
fight
get the
anyone
D?
for a long time.
I mean,
Honestly, I don't
what?
think he could take on any of the younger admirals in his current state, and therefore,
I meant if he's gonna be in the D tier. Okay?
I'll have to place him in the C tier. Click on this video.